See anybody else?
I will, George. Thank you. I will.
You don't think we have time to?
Don't know what to do. You can turn the volume up. Right.
Oh, really? Over there all day?
I was born.
Yeah, just
Oh my God.
maintenance. Like we do now.
Hey, Mark.
Am I good to sit here?
Do you remember?
I've got it.
I've been crying. It's just
I'll go. Let's go ahead. Hey, good morning, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. There's still some seats available, all safely measured out to be socially distanced. Mike and Lester. Sharon, you're up here. I'm going to sit there. She's Sharon, she sit right here.
Okay.
So good morning. I'm George McCandless, President, CEO of United Way of Central Georgia. And I want to welcome you here to a day that we have been waiting a long time for. It kind of mirrors the experience we had getting this field built in a way. We were originally planning to do this back in March, and then COVID hit, and then we came up with a couple other dates. We finally got this date, then the weather hit, and it was hit and miss as whether or not we were going to finally make it happen. But just like that we're standing on this field, we are here today to do this ribbon cutting. You'll hear from a couple special people here in a minute, but there are a few other people that I want to mention that are here today. First is Danielle Badassi. She is the executive director of the Atlanta Braves Foundation. And the Atlanta Braves have been an intense partner with us in not only getting this field done, but in working with us on the RBI program and growing the RBI program. So Danielle, thank you to you and all the Atlanta Braves. They're not here today, but we've had a lot of the Braves current and former players come down and do things with us here. When we redid the two Tom Fontaine park fields, they were here. So thank you for the partnership. And then the other one I want to mention, standing over here in the hat, he is both the current sheriff and the sheriff-elect of Macon-Bibb County, David Davis. Sheriff? I want to take a couple of minutes and kind of give you a brief history, both of the field and the RBI program from my perspective. Spent many days here standing on this field when it was just a bunch of mud and grass, dreaming about what this could look like. In many ways, this really is our field of dreams here in Macon and Bibb County. And so the reason that United Way got involved in the RBI program to begin with, yes, we have an intense focus on working with children like those over here. We have our Read United program up here at Hartley Elementary School, and we're trying to do everything that we can to make sure that they have every opportunity to succeed in their life. And so while education is important, and that is definitely a big part of our focus, sports also plays an important role. It has certainly played an important role in my life, and you're going to hear, I think, that it's played an important role in a lot of these folks' lives. In sports, it's where I learned teamwork. And so now that I'm in the nonprofit world, we use a different word for that. We call it collaboration, but it's the same thing. It's learning and being able to work together with other people for a bigger goal. Tenacity. You learn that in sports. I was telling Sharon earlier, as Mike Tyson said, you don't really know how good you are until you get hit in the mouth the first time. Well, sports teaches you tenacity. Without tenacity, we wouldn't be standing on this field today. I can promise you that. And when you're trying to do things like improve generational poverty and a lot of the other work we do, I tell you, it's real easy to quit. But you learn in sports that the one thing you don't want to be known as is a quitter. Responsibility. You learn that in sports. You learn that it's important to contribute to something or an entity that's bigger than you are. They use the thing, there's no I in team. Well, that's true. And there's no I in the work I do and in the work that y'all do and in building a community. So we all have to be responsible for that. And finally, you learn competition and sportsmanship. Yeah, I mean, when you're out on the field, you are competing and you want to win more than anything. But when it's over, you shake hands, and if you didn't win, maybe it inspires you to work a little harder to be better. And so from now on, when I look at this field and know what we had to do to make this happen, and in the world that we live in right now, and especially in our country, how polarized things seem to be, what this field stands for is how a group of people and a community overcame that. Yeah, we partnered with the Cal Ripken Foundation to build this $1.6 million plus field, but we had to raise over $800,000 of that. And the way we did that is first we went to the city, and Mayor Rickert and the commissioners aren't here today, but they approved taking SPLOST money, $750,000 to get us started. But then the actual ground here was owned by the school system, so we had to get the school system to partner with us. Well, then, after all that came together, and you'll hear from Mike Alston in a minute, we had to get the housing authority, who now owns the land that these fields are on. And I see Catherine Dennis with the Community Foundation. We had to raise more money from local business people and local foundations to fill in that last little bit of money that we needed. And so, this field is not the work of any one person or any one entity. Again, this is our community that came together to build something this incredible so that kids, just like you see standing over here, will be able to play Little League Baseball and soccer and football and lacrosse, and they can learn all those skills and have that in their proverbial quiver, just like I did and just like these folks back here did. So again, thank y'all for being here. Let me share a little bit about my inspiration, and now it is my pleasure to introduce another elected official, the mayor-elect of Macon, Bibb County, Mr. Lester Miller.
Thank you, George, for that introduction, and thank everyone for being here today. Many of you may know I don't generally prepare remarks ahead of time because I like to see what the day brings. But I'll tell you, this has been a long time coming for Macon Bibb County, and I'm certainly proud to be a part of it, although a small part to do our part. I know Jeff Batcher behind me here. I was willing to bet at least $500 today that he's going to cry. And if it does, I'm gonna spend $500 doing something to this field, whether it's buying a sign or buying some baseballs or softball. And if he doesn't cry, I'm gonna do the same thing. So I know he's gonna cry. That's a guaranteed happening today, which is good. Those are good, cheerful tears from a great man. As many of you know, I served on the school board at the time as president. I was also the steering committee on the steering committee here with George and some other people I see in the audience today to try to make this a reality. But now as mayor-elect, it's something that I can see go to fruition. And we talk about $1.6 million. It's not the money. It's the investment into this community. When you talk about equity and inclusion in an area that's been depressed as we're standing in today, this is what it looks like. This is not in North Macon. This is not in South Bibb. This is right here in the heart of Macon-Bibb County, in a community that needs something like this to show these children that you see today, and this is what it's about, hope. This is what hope looks like. I look forward to the times when I can come over here and watch children participate in sports. Because it's just not about the sporting activity. It's about bringing a community together. It's about letting these parents know we care about you. We value you. We put our money where our mouth is. This is what it's about. I can go on and on about the great things that the Braves organization has done for this part of Macon-Bibb County. A very worthy partner. Between the fields next door and these fields, we're going to put it to good use. But we have to tell our story. We have to tell people why we invested so much money, time, and effort into this location here. You may hear something from somebody on social media that says, $1.6 million for a turf field, that's ridiculous. You have to respond to that. How many children's lives will we save by playing ball on this field right here? How much of a difference are we going to make for our children because of the turf on this field that I'm standing on? We've had 43 murders in Macon-Bibb County this year alone. How many of those lives and how much is it worth saving those lives? To me, it means a lot. Some may know that I'm a baseball guy, meaning I thought I could play baseball back in the day, and I did so very well on my own standards at Ballard A. Just a baseball throw from where we're at today. I had some very good teachers, instructors, and for a very long time, baseball was my outlet. You know, what I found about baseball is it didn't take a whole lot of money to play. If I could get some used cleats and a used glove, I could fit in with most every other kid. I didn't have to have the name brands of anything. But our children will have that benefit. And my hope is it will get used. And this will be something that brings all of our community together. I want everybody in Macon-Bibb County to use it. I know Matilda Hartley is going to use it. I can promise you that. I know when I went to Dr. Jones, and I apologize for not mentioning our board member, Bob Easter's here today. Bob was part of that support that he offered for this project. And all of our school system, it was an easy ask for our school system to actually give this property up to make sure it's a good use. Dr. Curtis Jones was a part of that, and on behalf of him, I know he was an advocate supporter of that, and we look forward to that continued relationship for our students in Macon-Bibb County. So again, thank you for being here today. Thank you for your participation, but please help us tell the story. This is not about money. This is about helping our children. When people say, what are you doing for the children of their future? How can we stop crime in Macon-Bibb County? How can we give hope? Then just draw a diagram and tell them to come to this field on any given day, hopefully during the summer or spring, and see how it's used and help us tell our story. Thank you very much and have a good day.
Thank you, Lester. Appreciate that. Next, it's my honor to bring up the CEO of the Macon Housing Authority, Mike Alston. And as you will hear, this field came to be because, in large part, of an intense focus from Jeff Batcher to get it done. And there are only two people here that can really appreciate what being under that intense pressure is like, me and Mike Alston.
Thank you, George. Thank you, Mayor. This is terrific. On behalf of the Macon Housing Authority, Board Chair, Ms. Pearlie Tolliver, and Vice Chair, Dr. Melinda Moffitt, and the rest of the MHA Board, welcome. Before I share a few brief remarks, I would like to thank some people, and you always do that at the risk of forgetting some. So if I do, please forgive me. There's been a lot of people involved in this effort. First and foremost, the MHA staff who have worked tirelessly behind the scenes: Victor Vaughn, Michael Cobert, Dion Hooks, who manages Anthony Homes Incorporated right behind us. Good job, guys, and thank you. Of course, the MHA Board of Commissioners, United Way, the Board of Education, Dr. Jones, Sam Kitchens. I saw Sam here. Sam, thank you for all you've done. MLB and MLB players, Atlanta Braves and RBI, Cal Ripken Senior Foundation, Boys and Girls Club, Philip, I know he's back there. Our county commission who helped with SPLOST, Mayor Rickard, Mayor-elect Lester Miller, Sheriff Davis, Jeff Batcher, and our fire department, and so many others. MHA has been in business for 82 years, and our business has always been to add value to the lives of those we serve through quality housing, support services, and community development. Today, we, along with our partners, have taken another step to enrich the lives of so many who will now be exposed to a whole new world of opportunity. As George was saying, through positive activities which will promote values like teamwork, healthy competition, selflessness, and how to overcome defeat, just to name a few. And in the midst of all that, I have a feeling there's going to be a bunch of fun. Finally, as you can tell, this entire community is here together. Community development is very, very difficult work, and it takes many, not one. I say this because it is very difficult to accomplish any kind of community development by ourselves. It can only be accomplished through partnerships, and partnerships start with relationships, and relationships matter. So thank you to all of our partners, and thank you for these relationships. Together, we can do a whole bunch. Thank you, and let's play ball.
Thank you, Mike. So, as I said, the first time I heard about Major League's RBI program, Jeff called me. He'd been on a trip, and he was sitting on a plane with somebody that was telling him about it. And he said he'd like to bring that program here to Macon-Bibb County. And without getting any more details, as they say, that the rest is history. Lester, if you think this is a big asset to the community, the city may want to just send him on a lot more plane trips to, he comes up with some great ideas when he runs into people. But it is my honor to bring up someone I consider a close friend. We work together on a lot of different projects. He retired from his professional career, but all that meant was he had more time to find ways to help his community here. And he serves on our board as well as a lot of other boards in the community. Just wherever he can see that he can make a difference, especially in children's lives, he's willing to spend his time and his money to try and do that. So without further ado, and I promise you, there is no question, this field would not be here today if it wasn't for this guy driving this thing forward. Jeff Batcher. Did that introduction make you cry? No? I'm trying. Thank you. Lester's going to owe $1,000. Yeah. Look what we can accomplish. Look what we can accomplish when we work together, when we don't care who gets the credit. Look what we've done. Look what we've done. To all my friends that are here, all of you have had a part of this, every single one of you. And you think, well, maybe, you know, Jeff, I wasn't here. I didn't give any money. I wasn't out here, putting out the rock on the field, but you were here.
all of my friends that are watching on Facebook in Colorado and Utah and Nashville who encouraged me. My brother, Tony, who came from South Carolina, longtime friend Tommy Weber. You know, my brother Richard is here. All of them had to hear about this for 6 years and were tolerant of me and encouraging. But this is what we can do when we work together. There's so many people to thank, and there's a few people I just must thank in this process, and none more than my bride of 30 years. Janet, you've already gone to hide someplace, I know. Oh, front row. Sorry. So, you know, again, this was 6 years of ups and downs, and, you know, hey, Janet, I need to go to New York to talk to Major League Baseball. Janet, I need to go to talk to the Cal Ripken people in Baltimore. Never once did she waver in this process. She's the best partner and the best wife anybody could ever have, and never doubted that this was going to happen. I mean, this wouldn't happen without her encouragement, and I love you so much, and thank you, thank you, thank you. And today is her birthday, by the way, so happy birthday. Congratulations. How about this? You know, so no dinner tonight. This is it. This is it, you know. You know, when I started this with George, there's been no better partner than George McCandless. When I told him I've got this idea, RBI, Reviving Baseball in Inner Cities, Major League Baseball Initiative, this is a way to help inner city kids play baseball. George was like, yes, we're in. What can I do to help? The United Way has been such a fantastic partner in putting this together. His staff has been here all along, and he puts up with me, you know. I'm sending him emails like I'm sure many of you get from me, emails at midnight, you know, but I do that because there's things to get done. And if you'll notice at the end of all my emails is that Jackie Robinson quote, "A life is not important except on the impact it has on others." A life is not important except on the impact it has on others. That's a great Jackie Robinson quote. And that's what we've done here today. We're going to impact kids' lives for a long, long time. When we started this, we've had the two fields over there, Tom Fontaine, those two grass fields. Bernard Snell is here, who's worked out there as the president and coaching. Freddie Stewart, those two individuals are the true stalwarts for 25 years. Cleaning the bathroom, picking the kids up and taking them back and forth, paying the water bill, paying the power bill. It gave us such joy to be able to resod those two fields. The Atlanta Braves came down and resodded it in the name of Chipper Jones. Ed Mangum, baseball fans here know Ed Mangum, the head maintenance guy. He came and recited the lines for us down first and third base. And then Scott's Turf Builders gave us the money and the sod for the other one. New irrigation, new sod. Home Depot came, cleaned up the place, painted things for us. And here's your news flash of the day. Cassandra Cox from Georgia Power, I know is here. There you are, right there in the front row. Cassandra Cox and Georgia Power, they're going to give us the lights, and we're going to light those two fields within the next month there. And without Metro Power is going to be the ones that are going to put the lights up. Danny Gibson is an unbelievable human who helps me on so many projects. Metro Power is committed to lighting this field as well in the near future. So by the baseball season next year, this field will be lighted as well. They're paying for everything for us. How can you beat that? Isn't that fantastic? So this field is a youth development park through the Cal Ripken Senior Foundation. And little known, there's 100 youth development parks across the country, right? And so this is the first one in Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, or Alabama. This is the only Cal Ripken Youth Development Park anywhere. So that lets you know what Cal Ripken thought. And I thank the Cal Ripken people so much. They had to put up, we had some unbelievable conversations about this, but they were the ones who came in and put this together with the architects and got the company Fields out here. I saw Drew is here from Fields Inc. They came and helped us. I mean, they build Major League Baseball stadiums all over the country. This is the same turf that the pros play on everywhere across the United States of America. This is a synthetic turf field that drains in 20 minutes. I know more about this stuff than I'd ever thought I'd know. And as some of you who know me know, I've got a rusty screwdriver and a hammer at home. I can't do any of this stuff, but I know about rock now and irrigation and everything. So thank you so much to the Cal Ripken folks, Chuck Brady, and to Randy Acosta. Thank you to Bibb County on your original seed money, Major League Baseball and the Major League Baseball Players Association, Gene Batris, your contributions and your help, and what you want to do with this program going forward is tremendous. Thank you so much to David James, my friend, who called me last night. He runs all of the softball and baseball operations for Major League Baseball, the youth programs. Called me last night to tell me congratulations. Karen Lambert from the Peyton Anderson Foundation. We wouldn't be here without your contribution. And also Geico with what you contributed. And if you've got the layout of this field, third base is about there. I was at third base. I had almost all the money raised. I needed a final chunk of money before we could start construction. Benji Griffith. I contact Benji Griffith, email him. He comes out. We sit up right here at the playground. We look over this field. He used to play over here at Tom Fontaine Park back in the day. And he gave us that last chunk of money to go in so we could start this field. Benji Griffith has done more for this community than just about anybody I know, silently giving huge chunks of money. And Benji Griffith, with that chunk of money, got us the last bit we needed. And I thank him so much for doing that. Bibb County gave us, the Bibb County Board of Education gave us the land. I just can't tell you how happy I am to see the kids here today. They're going to be able to come down and use this field for field days and for other events. That's part of the organization we've got put in place. Lester Miller, how many texts you had to receive from me over and over and still receive from me, and I appreciate you responding to my texts. You're going to hear a lot of people putting up with me, but it's just who I am. Mike Austin from the Housing Authority, we wouldn't be here now if you wouldn't have taken this over and saw the vision of what we can do to help the kids from Anthony Homes and all of the properties of the Housing Authority. Philip Bryant, the Boys and Girls Club is going to run this field. The Boys and Girls Club is going to manage this field. They're already having kickball tournaments out here now. That is unbelievable. Thank you so much, Philip Bryant. And Danielle from the Atlanta Braves, you know, you've been such a great partner, the Braves have. And another news flash for you here is that the Braves are going to start running the RBI programs. A lot of Major League Baseball teams run their RBI programs. They now are going to run it as well. We're going to have a slight name change. It's going to be Braves RBI Macon. But having the Atlanta Braves involved and being able to help us with fundraising, helping us with uniforms, helping us with equipment, that's going to be a really big deal. So thank you to the Atlanta Braves once again. Thank you. So thank you, Brandon Raphael from the Macon Bacon, who helped me negotiate the signs to put that all up. Thank you, Brandon. Scott Carter out of the park, who's now cutting the grass for us there and had his team out yesterday and the day before, making sure this field was all swept and taken care of. Victor Vaughn from the Housing Authority was already thanked, and Dion Hooks. Victor's been here every day for months and months, putting in accessible handicap parking, doing all the things that need to be done, which has been such a huge help. Mike Napier, a lot of you know Mike Napier. I said I needed something to put the storage of equipment and things like that. One day, a storage container just shows up. Mike Napier pays for one of those shipping containers, and it just shows up. These are the kind of people that I've got as friends, and I love them so much for doing this. Thank you, Bill Shanks. You're the one who helped us get Brian Snitker here 2 years ago for our original groundbreaking and got a video of him, which George will talk about, these wonderful videos. And thank you, Jamie Kaplan, for the video that you got from me from Brian Jordan as well. So there's just been so many people that I just can't thank enough for everything. But there's one person that is not here that I wish I could thank. And that's my Little League Baseball coach, Vernon Sinclair. And the reason I'm here today is because a man like Vernon Sinclair saw a kid from a broken home who didn't have any way to get back and forth to play Little League Baseball. And he came and picked me up every day. I lived way out in East Macon. He picked me up, took me back and forth to play baseball for 3 years. He'd trade other players just so he could have me on his team because he knew I didn't have any way to get back and forth. That was the start of me being able to play sports. And it wasn't that he was a great motivational speaker. He knew baseball, but he wasn't a great baseball tactician. what he was he was there. He was there every day. And to have his old station wagon come to my house and pick me up meant more to me for those 3 years. And it showed me that somebody cares. When somebody cares about you, that means more than you ever know. And it gives you a little hope in your life. And it's been said, that's what this field is. It's to let all these kids know, the people in the neighborhood, that we care. When we had our original groundbreaking, a little girl walks up to me and said, "Thank you for giving me something to look forward to." That's what this field is all about. And Victor, this is your cue. So in the honor of my Little League baseball coach, and you'll see the plaque that's there, that's next to Cal Ripkins as well. We're going to be naming this field here at the Tom Fontaine Complex, naming this field after my Little League baseball coach, Mr. Vernon Sinclair. And we're going to do the unveiling of the scoreboard. You can tell we rehearsed this at least 3 times. There's no rehearsal. So we've had this covered up because I wanted to provide this with a little bit of suspense. And here today is Mr. Sinclair's daughter, Sharon Sinclair Toulis. Her husband Wiley's here. She came all the way from Mississippi. So she is so honored that we're doing this. And this will forever be known for a man who, again, was a simple guy who gave so much to me in my life. And again, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. And it wasn't necessarily, it was sports. And because I got to play baseball, I eventually go on to get a scholarship to the University of Utah and play football, and letter in football and baseball at those 2 places. But that's what that man did for us. That's what that man did for me. So, working out these logistics is not easy work, I'm telling you. This is, oh, no. Yeah. As Sharon said, it's about as stubborn as her dad was. Nice. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Sharon Sinclair Toulis.
Wow. I'm not as good of a speaker as everybody else. I am overwhelmed. I am standing here today talking to you all about a man that was my father, my world, my everything. My father, Vernon Sinclair. My daddy would think that we were all making a big deal over nothing. He was your average man who worked hard, lived in the same house for 45 years, and never missed a day from work. My father was kind. I never once remember him ever raising his voice to us kids or my mother, or anyone at that matter. My fondest memories was probably the weekends, whenever he would watch sports and I would lay my head on his belly. That was my daddy, a very ordinary man who was humble and kind. To stand here looking out at the Field of Dreams and all the hard work and dedication of Jeff Batcher and everyone else that it took to make this happen is beyond humbling. This brings me to a quote by Princess Diana. Carry out a random act of kindness with no expectations of reward. Safe in the knowledge that one day someone might do the same for you. My only hope is that every child who walks upon this field, that the Vernon Sinclair Field, will be a catalyst bringing forth more Jeff Batchers. That every coach will be inspired to walk in my father's footsteps. So in closing, in my father's honor, my quote: one single act of kindness can make an impact that could prove to be life-changing. It may seem like a small act of kindness, but so is the ember that can start a fire in a child's heart to succeed beyond their expectations. Thank you. And I love you, Daddy.
Thank you, Sharon, and thank you, Jeff. Jeff mentioned earlier just a couple of final things. There were several people that were supportive of this initiative but couldn't be here today. But you can hear their testimonies on our Facebook page. John Smoltz, former pitcher for the Braves, Brian Jordan that was mentioned, Dale Murphy, former Brave, the current manager, Brian Snitker, Bill Curry, former player and coach, Jim Nance, who is not too far from here right now doing the TV at the Masters, and of course, the foundation that did this, Cal Ripken Jr. All those gentlemen couldn't be here today, but they produced videos in support of this effort, and hopefully you'll get a chance to go out and see those. The other group I want to thank real quick are the signs that are up here on the fence. Some of the people that weren't mentioned earlier, Roy Bibb is here from Mid-South Community Federal Credit Union. Thank you, Roy. The revenue from these signs helps us maintain the field here and support the RBI programs. BSN Sports, the sign store, I'm going to go across. I'm going to let you read them, but please, burn those in your memory and frequent those establishments that were good enough to help us out. And the other thing, if you have a business and your sign is not up there, you'll notice there's plenty of space for other signs, including on the backstop here. Be glad to talk to you about that afterwards. So what I'd like to do now is we're going to conclude this with the official ribbon cutting. And we've got a, my wife, Rebecca, who puts up with me, she's got the large pair of scissors. And what we thought is we would get Jeff and the speakers and the kids all get over here with their back to the scoreboard. Sheriff Davis? Sheriff, I would feel better if you were closer to Jeff with that large of a pair of scissors anyway, so... Hey, why doesn't, feel free. We would rather have everybody up here than sitting back here. As we said, this is a community effort.
Rebecca, I need the go-ahead from you. You're the organizer of this. George.
All right, get everybody back here so we can get good pictures.
George. Okay.
You want to come to the kids, right? Like, kind of park off the side a little bit? Focus for you.
Hey, no, I'm they're looking like, oh. Hey.
If y'all want to get in the photo, why don't we, unless you're taking photos. But I mean, come on, Roy. Come on, Roy, Steve Darnay. You guys, come on. Get behind us. Whoever wants to get behind us. There you go.
Guitar.
So tall.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna.
Come on, my two, right? Come on.
You don't have your mask on.
Hey. Yeah, Catherine Dennis. Where's Catherine Dennis? Hey, Bernard! Bernard! Where's Philip?
I don't see any noses. Okay.
Where's Philip? Philip! Oh yeah, Danielle, definitely. Danielle, sorry.
I mean, I will.
Thank you. Philip, Bernard. I sure appreciate all y'all coming to this. And you'll only get a couple emails from me at midnight tonight. Okay? All right? Is everybody ready? So, on behalf of everybody who's helped make this a reality, I thank you all so much. And this is the next generation of kids that are going to help this world, and I can't wait to get to see them on this field. Here we go. Yes! Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, y'all heard enough of me. Thank you. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, John, come this way.
Good job.
My brother, I need to take